If you've ever tried playing PCVR on a Quest after playing on a dedicated headset like the Index or the Rift S, you've probably noticed something feels a little bit off. Maybe it's got a few stutters, maybe it's got some blurry compression, maybe it's just a little laggy. And the truth is that's because the Quest isn't a PCVR headset, and it never will be. Hold on. Let me finish. When you hook your Quest up to your computer, it's not just magically turning it into a Rift. It's streaming an image, compressing it, and emulating PCVR on the fly. And the software that you choose to do that can make a massive difference. Get it right, and your Quest feels like a native PC headset. It's got sharp visuals, smooth tracking, low latency, but if you get it wrong, your Quest will feel more like a slideshow than a headset. That's why today I'm breaking down the 4 most popular apps that make PCVR possible on the Quest. I'll talk about what each one does best, where they struggle, and what they cost. We'll cover wired and wireless options, talk a little bit about optimization, and I'll even get into my recommendations depending on what your setup is and what you're using it for. So, let's dive into some PCVR. Let's start with Meta's own option, AirLink. It's built right into Horizon OS, and it's free. All you really need is the MetaLink PC app installed on your computer. You log in with the same Meta account and pair it with your Quest. Once it's set up, you can launch SteamVR or Meta games directly from the headset. AirLink is simple and it works when it works. The biggest limitation here is stability. Depending on your router and your network conditions, AirLink can sometimes drop frames, stutter, or just fail to connect entirely. But when it's dialed in, it does give you pretty crisp visuals, low latency, and pretty high refresh rates. One critical reminder here, for the best experience with any wireless solution, AirLink, SteamLink, or virtual desktop, you're gonna need to plug your PC into your router with Ethernet. Wi-Fi on both ends sounds fine, but in VR, it just really doesn't cut it. A wired PC to router connection is gonna eliminate a ton of random stutters and compression artifacts. AirLink also supports a wired mode if you want to connect with USB-C cable. It's just called Link. If you go that route, make sure that your PC's USB-C port is at least a USB 3.0 or higher. Otherwise, you're going to bottleneck your performance. And if you want to push the visuals even further, Meta's own debug tool lets you crank up the bit rates and tweak sharpening. It takes some fiddling, but the difference can be night and day on the right setup. So AirLink's advantage is that it's free, integrated, and pretty flexible, but on the other hand, Meta hasn't exactly prioritized PCVR lately, so the support and the updates can feel very hit or miss. Now let's talk about SteamLink. This one's a lot newer, but it's Valve, so it's pretty good. You can download the SteamLink app straight from the Quest store, open it, and pair it with your PC running SteamVR. There's no extra streamer apps, no debug tools, and it doesn't require anything crazy like sideloading. SteamLink streams wirelessly only. It uses HEVC video encoding and has a built-in option for foveated rendering. You can set the bandwidth manually anywhere from 25 megabits per second to 350 megabits per second, or you can just leave it on auto and let Steam manage it. In terms of experience, SteamLink feels like classic Valve. It's simple and it's stable. It just works. It's also completely free. Another neat bonus is that you can play flat screen Steam games in VR on a big floating screen, which is surprisingly fun for non-VR titles. On the trade-offs side, SteamLink is locked to Steam. If you have Oculus PC exclusives or you want to launch Rift titles, you'll need another solution. And it doesn't offer the same sort of deep tweaking options that virtual desktop or ALVR give you. Still, if your VR library lives mostly on Steam and you just want to get into Half-Life Alyx or Boneworks without spending a ton of extra money, SteamLink is an excellent entry point. It's fast, it's simple, and it's reliable. Next up is Virtual Desktop, and this is the veteran in the room for sure. It's been around a lot longer than AirLink and SteamLink, and you can tell by how polished it feels. Now, it's not free. As of this recording, it's $24.99 on the Quest store, but for many Quest owners, this is the gold standard for wireless PCVR. To set it up, you install the Virtual Desktop Streamer app on your PC, log in with your Meta username, and then launch the Virtual Desktop app on your Quest. It'll detect your PC automatically, and you're ready to stream. Where Virtual Desktop shines is in its customization and performance. It supports H.264, HEVC, and AV1 encoding, and that last one is especially good if you have an RTX 40 series or newer GPU. You can run refresh rates up to 120 Hz, crank up bitrate beyond 200 megabits per second, enable sharpening filters, adjust gamma, and even overlay performance graphs. It also includes environment options for multitasking, movie watching, or just working inside of VR. ALVR. The reliability of Virtual Desktop is what's really impressive. With a good Wi-Fi 6 router, Virtual Desktop can deliver near native clarity with very, very low latency. And the developer just keeps pushing updates, often faster than Meta or Valve. Now on the downside, you do have to pay for it, and it is wireless only. There's no wired fallback like there is with AirLink or ALVR. But the bottom line is, if you want the best all-around wireless experience and you don't mind paying $20, Virtual Desktop is the one that most enthusiasts swear by. Finally, there's ALVR, an open source project that's completely free. And this one's a little bit different from the others because it isn't backed by Meta, Valve, or a commercial developer. It's built and maintained by the community. You can install the ALVR server on your PC, sideload the client onto your Quest through SideQuest, and then connect. ALVR gives you more control than almost anything else. You can tweak bitrates, codecs, frame timing, encoder presets, foveated rendering, even color depth. If you love digging into performance graphs and experimenting with every knob and slider, ALVR is a dream come true. It supports both wireless streaming and wired USB tethered mode, which makes it a very flexible alternative if you don't want to rely on Meta's Link software. That means you can push performance higher with a cable when latency absolutely has to be rock solid, or you can go wireless when you want the freedom to move around. ALVR also supports Linux, which makes it kind of the standout choice for enthusiasts who aren't running Windows. And because it's open source, the project just keeps evolving. Developers and hobbyists are constantly testing new features, updating codec support, and ironing out bugs. So if you like being on the bleeding edge, ALVR is probably where that happens first. But with all that power comes trade-offs. ALVR is hands down the most complex to set up. It doesn't always play nicely with every PC or network, and you'll almost definitely spend time in settings menus just trying to get it to run smoothly. It also doesn't have the same level of polish or plug-and-play simplicity as something like Steam Link or Virtual Desktop. Think of ALVR as the enthusiast's sandbox. It's powerful, flexible, and endlessly tweakable, and if you're the kind of person who enjoys squeezing every last frame of performance and doesn't mind troubleshooting, ALVR can be incredibly rewarding. But if you just want to click connect and play, it's probably not the best place to start. So with all of that on the table, which one should you use? If you're just getting started and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, AirLink is perfectly fine as a first step. If your VR library mostly lives in Steam and you just want to get in quick, Steam Link is simple, it's free, and it's very stable. If you love tinkering or you want a free wired option without Meta software, ALVR gives you some pretty insane flexibility. If you want the best wireless experience and advanced features, Virtual Desktop is the clear winner. And for things like seated sims, when stability is totally non-negotiable, a wired link, whether that is through Meta's official cable or ALVR's USB tethered mode, is still the most reliable. There's no one-size-fits-all answer here, and the right choice is going to depend a little bit on your hardware, a little bit on your games, and a little bit on how much tweaking you want to do. But with the right setup, your Quest can feel like a completely different headset. So that's basically the landscape. 4 different apps, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. The good news is, no matter what your setup looks like, there's probably a solution that will make your Quest feel a lot closer to a native PCVR headset. If this video helped you out, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which app you're using right now, or if there was something that I missed. Also, don't forget, we are giving away a new gaming PC, and you can enter on our website. There's free ways to enter, but you can also get more entries and increase your chances of winning by actually purchasing a shirt or an accessory or a replacement part for your Quest. This is kind of our biggest giveaway ever, and the more support we can get, the bigger our giveaways can be. So links in the description if you want to enter. Thanks for watching the video, and as always, we will see you on the next one.